Bengals running back Joe Mixon refused to speak to certain reporters. Mixon says he's now boycotting news outlets, but rather he's not boycotting news outlets, but rather specific reporters who have been quote unquote disrespectful. These are the facts that you need to know about Mixon. He's been charged with misdemeanor aggravated menacing after he was accused of pulling a gun on a woman during a road rage incident. Also, as part of a civil lawsuit after a teenage neighbor was shot in the foot while standing in Mixon's yard. Reporters Mixon named he will not talk to include Ben Baby for ESPN, Kelsey Conway for The Inquirer, that would be the Cincinnati Inquirer, James Rapian for Sports Illustrated, and Jay Morrison. I don't know who the hell PFN is. Pro Football Network, I think that's what it is. Mixon's agent responded on X, also known as Twitter, that the 7th-year veteran is not happy with how he's been portrayed by certain reporters. Okay. Let me say this to Joe Mixon, okay? I want to tell Joe Mixon I appreciate his position because I originally was going to come on and say, you're a damn fool. You don't need to invite the ire of the fourth estate, which is the media contingent, acting like you've been victimized because you found yourself in an uncomfortable situation of being accused of a crime. But because he identified the reporters that he had a problem with, ladies and gentlemen, I got news for you. That's fair game. I'm a personality and a commentator and a pundit and all of that, but I've been a reporter for 30 years. That is fair game. There is nothing wrong with what Joe Mixon did. There is nothing wrong. If he highlighted, which he did through his agent, if he highlighted the specific reporters he refuses to talk to, it is perfectly within his right not to talk to specific reporters. That is fair. A matter of fact, I want to take a moment to applaud Joe Mixon for doing that. Because what I hate is when you got athletes and sports figures and stuff like that who castigate the entire media contingent. Everybody didn't do that to you. Just that person. And as long as he's willing to highlight that person, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Joe Mixon's position. I support his position. I support his position. I'm not sitting there and taking sides against the reporters themselves, acting like he's right about what he's saying, because I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what they specifically allegedly have done to him or what. I don't know. I don't know that. But what I'm saying is that's what grown-ups do. When you sit up there and you want to point the finger at the media, but it was a blogger, or it was some person with a website and stuff like that, or it was somebody that went on social media. Well, that ain't the damn media. That's that person. And you got to be grown up enough to highlight and identify exactly who they are so you can tell them to kiss your ass when you want to. And if Joe Mixon had not done that and he just said the media, I'd have had a problem with him. But he didn't do that. He identified exactly who it is he has a problem with. He didn't say he had a problem with the Cincinnati Inquirer. He didn't say he had a problem with PFN. He didn't say he had a problem with Sports Illustrated. He didn't say he had a problem with ESPN. He said those specific individuals. That's what he said. And if he had a problem with them specifically, that is perfectly within his right. And I think there's a lot of athletes out there who can learn from that instead of constantly pointing the finger at the entire institution as opposed to specific individuals. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And I wanted to give Joe Mixon his props on that. I didn't expect to do that. But when I saw that he identified specifically who he was talking about, I'm like, that's fair game.